Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today on this special transmission is Sumit Peer, and we're going to be talking about the Iran blast. Qasim Solemani storm, where people had congregated to mourn him for the 4th anniversary. There was a big blast. They're saying multiple blasts were there. 103 people already dead. Maybe the count will go more. But the more important thing is, it appears that the usual suspect in such a case would be, you know who I'm talking about, but there is a different angle. Sumit Peer is going to explain to us why this second angle is even more important than the first one. To know all about this and more, let's welcome Sumit Peer. And a small request, please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed, do subscribe to this video. Thank you very much. Here we go. Sumit ji, Ram Ram, kaise hain aap?
And Ram, Namaskar, Pranam, Vanakkam, sir, all fine and great. Thank you very much. I hope you are healthy and hearty today. Look, you are looking good.
Thank you, sir. I'm much better today, and I'm back. I'll be back to full business tomorrow, and we have some amazing stuff tomorrow, viewers. We'll share that with you also. But more importantly, today, IRGC commander. This guy was the commander for 22 years, 1998 to 2020, and then he was, taken out by the Americans in 2020. And IRGC believes that this guy is some sort of a demigod status because they believe that he was the one who put together the networks in all these different countries. And now they are vowing revenge. But then look at what they have been doing with Houthis. I mean, as far as I can remember, IRGC is believed, I don't have any proof for this, believed to be in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Syria, and in Iraq. I mean, these guys have become embedded into all these people because some of the level of sophistication you see, even in the October 7th attack, it is not something that you can do with just some, people who are trained. So all this, bring it in together. Where is the Pak angle in all this stuff?
Sir, in the name of Bhagwan Sree Ganesha, let's do the Sree Ganesha of this vlog and start. You see, it's a very unfortunate incident because when people get killed anywhere in the world, we don't support any kind of violence. We condemn all kinds and types of violence anywhere in the world. And here, the people who are killed are innocents. They were not soldiers, they were not army, they were not military, they were just ordinary civilians who were there. Now, this Kerman place, what we call it, is one of the biggest province of Iran, and this has a lot of relevance because, and let me tell you, this is exactly the place where Qasim Solemani has been buried. Qasim Solemani, what you rightly said, was the command of the Iran Revolutionary Guards, sorry. And he was considered to be a demigod. He's supposed to have put all the resistance together in the whole of the Middle East. And today, this force has presence everywhere. They are in Hamas, they are in Gaza, they are in Lebanon, they're pretty much everywhere in the Middle East, directly or through their affiliates. Now, what has been happening, there has been a complex plethora of things going on. What exactly happened here when you enter the cemetery kind of a thing, there were 2 bombs or there were 2 briefcases kept. It is believed they were remotely detonated. And when they were remotely detonated, it created an explosion so big, we are talking of at least 103 dead and 141 injured, and the count is going on up. I think just around an hour back, it was 71 and 110. Now it is 103 and 141. So you can look at the pace by which the count is going off. Unfortunately, women and old and young and all lost their lives, which is very unfortunate. Now, if you look at the Iran, the Iran has 3 entities. One is Khomeini and, these revolutionary guards, revolutionary guards, yes. Second is the government of Iran, and third is the people of Iran. There are 3 different entities which, when you talk of Iran, and they are not, they're not all the same. Khomeini, you know what Khomeini is, where his IRGC is, where his revolutionary guards are, where is the loyalty. If you look at, the people of Iran, they are in a different tangent altogether. And if you look at the government of Iran, that is in between the 2. And more inclined towards the Khomeini because that is where the power comes from and that is where the government gets the power from. So even on the New Year's Eve, we have seen a lot of mosques in Iran were set fire by the people of Iran. And we know in Iran, there are few thousand mosques which nobody is going because nobody is going to mosque to offer prayers. So now the Khomeini gets power by this radical Islam and by his proxies like, these revolutionary guards and Hezbollah, Hamas and all the kind of, these proxies wherever they have infiltrated and built those massive cadres. Iran has a powerful military. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the most powerful in the whole of Middle East. If I look at all the militaries in the Middle East. Now, with all these things happening, now Iran has been provoking and provoking and provoking. Now, if you see, the attacks in the Red Sea have gone exponentially high, exponentially high. Houthis are every day increasing the attacks. Even today, there was a ship which left Israel and was moving with an Israeli cargo. It was attacked again. I'm not sure, is it kidnapped or not kidnapped, but some people say it's kidnapped, some people say it's not kidnapped. So we cannot confirm, but the attack happened even today. Now, there are, I think, the total attacks which have happened. Unfortunately, with these attacks happening, even the Somali pirates have got activated. After 2017, you can see them for the first time getting activated. Now, with these attacks happening, as per some analysis, it is up to 250 Chota Bada attack all to put together which have happened. All of them are not successful. All of them are not totally failure. Some are able to cause the damage, some are not. But the menace is increasing. Now, all the major shipping lines have kind of suspended that route. They are going through the Cape of No Hope. And if you look at the cost of a container going to, for example, China, the time is up by around 18 to 20 days and the freight is up by 44%, which is a lot of money. So these things are happening, where, you wanted to mention.
Sumit ji, it is Cape of Good Hope, not No Hope.
Sorry. The Cape of No Hope is in Chile. There's one Cape of Good Hope, correct. So now with these costs rising, the menace is increasing. Now American interests are in target. And if you look at some of the last 1.5 months, I was looking at statistics, there are around 40 to 50 American installations and assets have been attacked in the whole of Middle East. This is a pessimistic number. Some people say the number is as high as 72, but I'm taking the lower end number. So American interests, American bases, whatever, they have been targeted in Middle East. With this happening, even Americans are literally pissed off with whatever is happening there. Now, we know that Qasim Munir, Nadim Anjum, they had met Anthony Blinken, they had met Victoria Nuland, they had met CIA director, and these Houthis have been giving a lot of trouble. And Iran is saying, look, I don't know who is doing it, Houthis are doing it, we are not doing it. Hassan Nasrallah has been talking, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but not doing anything. And last night what happened, this al-Aruri, the number 2 leader of Hamas, was killed in Beirut. It was an IDF drone which went into Beirut, it goes into the heart of Beirut, exactly attacks the place and kills it. And with him, 2 more people are killed. Incidentally, one of them happens to be the number 3 of Hamas. So except Khalid Mashal and Ismail Haniyeh, number 2 and number 3 are gone. So I think the total people which are killed out of the bunch of 12 is 7 or 8 are already down. That is the number. So there are 4 or 5 left. Now, this killing is very important because this happened on the soil of Beirut. This was not done in so-called Gaza. This was not done anywhere. This was done on the soil of Beirut. This man thought that he is very, very safe in Beirut. Though his sister was telling today that he always prayed to Allah that he wants to be a martyr and his, wishes granted. And, and they're very happy. Last time, I think he met the Iranian president in an airplane. He said, I want to become a martyr. Kindly bless me. He said, okay, tathastu. Then what was left from him was a loaf of meat. I mean, the pictures everywhere in the social media, there's a loaf of meat which is left of him. So the attack was exactly on him and he was killed. Now, after that, we have seen, Hamas blaming Israel. We have seen the Lebanese president blaming Israel. And we have seen Israel and IDF has come and taken the responsibility. Say, yes, we have done it and we have done it there. Because we have already told you, we'll eliminate each and every leader of Hamas wherever you are. Now, with all these things happening, with all these, things happening and brewing in the Middle East, the things are getting from bad to worse, if you ask for my personal assessment. As I've been predicting that there's a major war which is coming on the seas. The major war is coming on the seas and it will hit. As I had predicted, by the end of the 31st December, we'll have one good news from Pakistan, Masood Azhar, Gaya. Now, there is one more news coming in next 15 days maximum. One big news from Pakistan is again coming. Now, with all these things happening, what is happening here? Nadim Anjum, they are go and meet Anthony Blinken here. Now, what is the Middle East? Middle East is a whirlpool of undercurrents where undercurrents never settle. Father will go, son will come, son will go, grandson will come. And you have to be worried about the next undercurrent next to you, because you will not be killed by Israeli or American If you are not on the guard, your corresponding undercurrent will swallow you. Now, for example, who's the biggest threat of MBS? The biggest threat of MBS doesn't come from Israel or America or Russia or France. It comes from his cousin brother, or his brother. He's his biggest threat. Now, for MBS to survive, he has to become more evil or devil than them, whatever you call it. Now, that is how Middle East works. That is how Middle East unfortunately works. So there are complex relations between the countries. Countries only share intel. Countries share intel and also diplomatic relations. Countries share intel, diplomatic relations, and also trade and financial relations. So a lot of countries might not have diplomatic relations with Israel in Middle East, but that doesn't mean they don't share the intel. They still share the intel. They still share the intel. A lot of countries have diplomatic relations, but there is no trade. A lot of countries have intel relation, trade they do, but they don't have diplomatic relations. So it's a बहुत complex है sir. ये खिचड़ी है. There's no right or left. And in Iran, there are 3 power centers. So when you talk of Iran, you have to talk of 3 entities. Mostly I refer to Khomeini because he's the most powerful one. So with all those things happening and this Hezbollah and all doing all the natak, today Hassan Nasrullah was on TV. Hassan Nasrullah was crying, ro raha tha, and other martyrs were also crying, we'll teach a lesson, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do that. This all was happening. Lebanese president was on TV and saying there'll be retaliation. Now, Iranian president on record is talking of retaliation. Iranian foreign minister on record is talking of retaliation. Now, we understand Hassan Nasrullah, but what I'm trying to point here is the Iranian foreign minister and the president of Lebanon is talking retaliation. And where was this man hiding? Al-Aruri. Al-Aruri was hiding in Beirut. Let's not forget that. So, what I'm saying, Iran is trying to do this war with the help of his proxies and trying to have the high cost of human casualty so that Americans one day are really pissed off because you are attacking American assets every day. You are asking all kind of jihadi groups to attack American assets so that America is pissed off and America goes for a major action. That is what you want. But you want to be seen, ye America ne kiya. You don't want to do it. You say, hey, America came and attacked us, maar dala. You don't want that to happen. You were making a point, Sajid.
Just one small observation. Guys, you have seen Fauda, I hope. What you're seeing in real life today is Fauda on steroids. I mean, that's exactly what is going on, in my opinion. And also, if you have not watched the series called Shadow of Beirut, do watch it because that shows you how Lebanon got transformed. And it's an incredible series. You need to understand all these nuances, like what Sumit was mentioning about undercurrents. So you have to watch out for this and that and so on and so forth. How all these things have to be successfully navigated. Because Qasim Solemani comes in that series called The Shadow of Beirut. Do watch it. Back to you, sir.
Sure. Now, with all those things happening, now let's go back to what happened. These people were there. Suddenly, you have killed the people. Who will get the people killed? Somebody planted the bomb there. And let me tell you, in Iran, being a military state, there are no terrorists in Iran. Either it's the government of Iran, it is Khomeini, or it is the police who will do it. There's nobody outside who will come and do. There are no terrorists in Iran, right? They are the terrorists themselves. They manage the terror. तो मतलब कहते हैं ना चोर के यहाँ चोरी नहीं होती. It's exactly that kind of analogy. So this is how Iran works. The people who can kill a 21-year-old, the regime who can kill a 21-year-old Masha for not wearing a headscarf. Another girl is in ICU. The people who went to their graveyard, they fired bullets on her. So everything is possible in Iran, right? And Iran is a very complex where the power centers are divided. Nobody has the power. Even the president has to align between the Khomeini and the people, depending from situation to situation. But his power comes from Khomeini. You have to remember that. President cannot do much. He has to align to Khomeini. Koi option nahi hai. So with all these things happening, now let's go into the history. Iran has been an enemy of Pakistan. Correct? Iran has been an enemy of Pakistan. Now, there have been groups in Iran who have been training in Pakistan. And there have been groups in Baluchistan who were trained to upset Iran. Now, if you remember, there's a group called Jaishankar. My sources tell me this is the group, Jaishankar. Jaishankar was an affiliate of Al-Qaeda Khairuddin, Zainullah faction. Al-Qaeda Zainullah faction. There was a time when it was funded by Emiratis and Saudis. And they used to do all the training in Balochistan to upset Iran. But you see, Iran is Shia. Here they are Sunnis. This is a Sunni group. Sunni group was getting money from Saudis and from Emiratis to do insurgency in Iran. They were trained in Pakistan. Again, I am telling you the name of the group. I can't remember all these funny names. The name of the group is Jaishankar. And the person who, it was, I kind of rated Zandullah group. And this person, the leader is called Abdul Malik Rigi. He was killed by Iran in 2010. Then the group was disbanded, right, in 2010. But after MBS came to power, after King Salman's demise, MBS comes to power. And MBS does not support this. Neither Emiratis have supported this. Now, how have the equations changed between Pakistan and Baluchistan? Today, a lot what you see is happening in Balochistan and what is happening in BLA. It is happening courtesy Iran. Iran is supporting BLA to a great extent. And last 3, 4, 6 months, this has increased. Remember, I told you one of the shows that Pakistan is saying this attack which happened wherein a lot of Pakistani soldiers were killed by BLA. This was done by the help of a hostile foreign power and intelligence agency. Remember, I told you that time it is Iran, it is not India. They are referring to Iran, not to India. India will never do it. India has not done it. It is Iran. A lot of people were writing to me, were DMing me, "Nahi, Sumit bhai, it's not like that." Now I'll tell you the equation. Now this organization, which is literally, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Now, if my video freezes, then I have to log in again. I don't know what Chinese are doing to my laptop. Now
it's possible.
Now, if this Jash, and sir, problem here, whenever I talk of Pakistan and China, the video freezes. I mean, is this a coincidence?
Look,
I don't know what happened.
Most of our routers are made in China, Sachin. I mean, sorry, Sumit. Most of our routers are made in, and I've written a book about this. Who painted my state purple, which tells you exactly how these people have designed ins into all the equipment that they can actually go back and transmit back to the home server what is happening. So it is definitely possible. Why don't you go ahead and log off and log
I'll log out. I'll log in and log out.
We are in a super conversation here, and then these people want to try and. So viewers, as Sumitji is getting ready to come back in, I just wanted to share some information with you. The Sengol project second installment is almost here. And as soon as that comes in, I will ship them all out to you. Thanks for being patient. Initially, I had just thought that, I would sell 100 of these, but I budgeted a little bit more and I ordered 120. Well, by the time the order came in, I mean, now I have close to 200. Now, I have again placed order for 120. So I need about 40 more because I don't want to keep this inventory at my place. So if you guys are feeling about getting another Sengol for those who already have one, or if you want to buy one, you can do so now. And we are also planning a few other things around that, which is to have a base so that the Sengol can be put as a on your desk. And we're also going to suggest to you how you can mount it on the wall. In fact, we showed some pictures of how it can be mounted on the wall also. So that is just the beginning. We've got some more exciting things for you, and we will be doing that very, very soon. So stay tuned. Sumitji is still logging in, and hopefully it will not be too long before he comes. In the meantime, Ram Mandir is coming up. So let us listen to our tune. This is available now as a ringtone. In case you want to, you can always listen to this. And back to you, Sumitji.
Ji, we're talking about the Jaishankar. So in 2010, after Rigi's death, There is written evidence, you can find it in all Al Jazeera, that Iran has warned Pakistan to control this group, because even after the Regis death, the group was pretty much active. Now, Pakistanis have been using this group against BLA. Now, BLA has been funded by Iran. Recently, when they were talking about the attacks, I told you that time on PGurus, it is they are referring to Iran, they are not referring to India. A lot of people argued with me. Now the things are very clear. It was never India. Now, BLA's lethality is because of there. And I'll tell you another angle. A lot of people will not know it. You know, there is one big sympathizer of BLA in whole of Middle East, and that is Oman. Because after Baluchistan, the second biggest population of Balochis is in Oman. So, and Oman is how? 200, 250 kilometers away. So there is BLA angle, there is Iranian angle, and there is Omni's angle because of the Baloch population. Now, Iran and Pakistan have a very hot and cold relationship. You know, it is very seasonal. From Iran, you smuggle biscuits, you smuggle toothpaste, you smuggle everything. Anything and everything what you want to smuggle, you smuggle from Iran. When a car gets stolen in America or a UK or a Germany, you found it on the Chaman border. Chaman border is a border which is between Iran and Pakistan. Iran needs Pakistan because Iran wants to build a nuclear bomb. For getting the nuclear bomb, if anybody wants any know-how or kuch bhi, you have to go to Pakistan. There is no other option. Nobody will give you that. So there is a typical hot and cold relation. Now, Balochis is a known, I can give you in writing, have affiliation to Iran. And I was telling you that in next 15 days, you will hear some big news coming from Balochistan. Again, I'm telling you the split of Pakistan will start from Balochistan. Balochistan will initially be a part of Iran, or a part of it will be part of Iran. Then Balochistan will become a disputed territory and other parts of Pakistan will break. Qasim Munir knows this. Qasim Munir knows, push comes to shove, he cannot defend Balochistan, he cannot, and there's nothing he can do to Iran, but he also wants to have a relation with Iran. He was trying to sell them something to Qatar and all, but eventually 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙀𝘁 went away, so paisa mila nahi, he could not make his billions. Now, by smuggling here and there, they can make some small money here and there, maybe a few 100 million a year, but not big. There is big time smuggling which happens from Iran, from everything. Anything which is banned in Pakistan will come from Iran and people make money. Now, with this, you know, friendship-enemy relation going on, now BLA becoming more and more stronger. And remember once Mr. Ajit Doval told them, you do one more Pulwama, you will lose Balochistan. They're really worried about Balochistan. They know today Pakistan army cannot handle Balochistan. What do? They went crying to Uncle Sam, America, sir, bachalo, sir, what to do, sir? Now, what is the American angle here? There is a big angle of American base in Balochistan and all. We are not talking about this vlog. That's a separate vlog itself. Will cover all the aspects of it. Now, Americans want a base, what we can briefly touch in Balochistan. Now, is it a full-fledged base? Is it a Navy base? Is it an aircraft base? Or is it only a drone base? Or is it only a listening post? In my opinion, they will want a full-fledged base near Godhra. This base coming up will upset a lot of regional paradigms. But Pakistanis want money. And Pakistani economy has always run on money when the money comes from others. Now, with this base coming in, Iran is not happy. Iran is not happy. BLA has increased the attacks. And BLA has even whacked the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. BLA has made sure Godhra is non-functional. Right? So even Pakistan is whacked from there. Now, China has suddenly lost interest because CPEC is not there, Godhra is not there, Chinese are not interested. Now, Pakistan wants to retaliate. Why does Pakistan want to retaliate? Pakistan wants to retaliate to protect Balochistan and teach Iran a lesson. Now, what do Americans want? American logic is very simple. Americans have pushed all their arsenal in Middle East. They have been stocking Middle East everywhere, stocking up to here. They want Iran to do a big mistake. They want Iran to start the war. America doesn't want itself to be starting the war because it will be seen a war on Islam, the Muslim world, and all that crap will start flying. They want Iran to start the war. Now, if you want the Iran to start the war, you have to literally finger, I'm sorry, I'm not using a proper word, you have to finger Iran where it hurts them the most. Now, if you look at this place, this is a very auspicious, this is a very religious place in Iran. Now, if a bomb goes here, and now Hassan Nasrallah doesn't retaliate, Al-Halili doesn't retaliate, Houthis do not retaliate, and nobody retaliates, then they will lose the cadre. Then the Hezbollah and all will be dismantled, which is good for America. If they retaliate, the kind of arsenal America has built in the Middle East and the kind of support they have got, is the time for them to get rid of Houthis and get rid of Iran both. If you just pull out the map, you are around more than 24 bases in and around Iran Americans have built over the years. So Iran and America are literally at the loggerheads. Here the things at the South China Sea are also heating up because Xi Jinping is watching. Uncle Xi, Emperor of China, is watching. How do the Americans get engaged here? Now, this is a religious place. This is very close to the people of Iran. Now, if a bomb goes out here, the government of Iran will be seen as nikamma, useless. You cannot even protect this. Now, if Hassan Nasrullah cannot cry, he has to retaliate. But if Hassan Nasrullah retaliates, Israel is almost done with Gaza. They can take care of Lebanon. And here, Americans can take care of Iran. And if Iran goes, long run, Saudis and all the Sunni blocs want that. Sunni blocs want the Shia power to go down so that Sunnis will dominate the Middle East. As Sunnis are friends of America, the things will carry on. Sunnis want business. MBS wants business. Emiratis want business. Now, the Shia angle is only with Yemen and Shia angle is only with Iran. Now, if this attack goes there, this will compel Khomeini to be in power. He has to ask this Republican Guard or Revolutionary Guard, whatever fancy name is given to them, to retaliate. Now, if they retaliate, and remember just few days back, there was when there was one commander of this Revolutionary Guard which was killed. I forget his name. So many, Israel is killing so many, I can't remember the names now. Now, they gave a statement around 7 days back. They said, when they were baffled by his elimination after Qasim Solemani, he was the number 2 or number 3 in the this Revolutionary Guard. They said, we'll retaliate. But they also spilled the beans. How the beans were spilled? They said, look, October 7th attack was done by Hamas because we wanted to avenge the death of Qasim Solemani. So what is the angle? There is a possibility also, this Jewish American lobby that might have also a role to play. And when you want to cause trouble in this region, the cheapest source, the hired gun to cause trouble is Pakistan. Pakistan can do anything for money. Now, you cannot use a base in Saudi Arabia for offensive because Saudis will fear retaliation will come there. You cannot use your base in Qatar and do offensive tactics because retaliation can come to Qatar. And Qatar may not want you to do from an Islamic country to an Islamic country. But if you look at the track record of Pakistan, it's the only country where you can kill Osama, you can kill al-Zawahiri, you can do anything as long as you have money to pay. And Americans also need soldiers in Yemen. They want these Punjabi soldiers to die in Yemen. So who will die in Yemen? Again, Qasim Munir will provide with the soldiers. If he can provide PSOs for the Saudi sheikhs, why not soldiers in Yemen? So Pakistan is in a catch-22 situation. They need money. They cannot protect Baluchistan. They cannot hold Baluchistan long. And trust me, sir, some green signal is awaited by somebody in Baluchistan. When that green signal comes, Qasim Munir cannot hold it. So if you want to do this, how will Qasim Munir do it? How will ISI do it? Through this faction. This faction, which I told you, is a Sunni faction. I can't remember its name. I don't know why. The name is Jaish-ul-Adhi. Jaish-ul-Adhi has a lot of animosity with Iran, and their leader Righi was killed by Iran. And now the Saudis and Emiratis are not supporting them. Still, they have sufficient money. If the money is on the table, they have the resources, they have the network. They can go from Baluchistan into Iran. They can do this and come back. Now, even what we are coming to know, when this happened, there was a drill of the Iranian Air Force today. I mean, they were fearing a bigger attack. There was a drill of the Iranian Air Force. Now, people of Iran are looking at the government of Iran. Government of Iran is looking at Khomeini. Khomeini is looking at Hassan Nasrullah. Hassan Nasrullah is looking at Al-Halali and Islamic Jihad and all. They're all looking at each other. And they are looking at how much American arsenal is on the ground. They know Gaza is done and dusted. Now they know Lebanon is not a big deal for Israel to handle. They know when it will be a Shia conflict, a lot of Sunni countries will not come in. So if it is not a pure Shia conflict, then a lot of countries will come in. Now Lebanon, Yemen and Iran, these are only 3 countries you have to handle. And if you look at the alliance and all, it's good enough. And there is already an alliance which is formed in the Red Sea to handle Houthis. So if you look at America, you have 3 parts. You have the alliance which still has 8-10 members intact to handle Red Sea. Now you have Israel which can handle Lebanon on its own, no problem. Now these Americans are free themselves or with their allies to handle Iran. And push comes to shove. If you want boots on the ground on Yemen, your Munir's men to be killed. So Americans would not want to have casualties and body bags. So where will the casualties and body bags go? They will go to Munir's men. And again, Pakistan will say, "Humne Dehshatgardi ki jang ladi hai. We've been fighting a war on terrorism." And how other countries will keep up? Because it will be seen as a typical Shia conflict. When there's a Shia conflict, Sunnis don't want to get killed for Shias. It's very simple. But if you're fighting America or Yahuds and all, they might still get together. But it's a typical Shia conflict, they will want to keep away. Now, having this bomb detonated at this cemetery, which has a lot of religious relevance, is to make Iran look weak, is to make the president look weak, is to make Khomeini look weak, is to make Hassan Nasrallah look weak. And yesterday, if you see those videos of this Aruri's, body, it is a loaf of meat that is left. So these videos are today. This video was today tweeted. I tweeted it last night, but today I tweeted it last night. It was 𝗤𝙨𝙤𝙀𝘁, I don't know. But the video was tweeted, I think last night at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I tweeted it. This video was shown today by the Mossad's official handle. Mossad's official handle is showing the video. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you Mossad is like, we have gone and done it. Americans would want somebody to go and do it within Iran. They want to settle this Middle East. America wants to settle this Middle East because the impact Houthis are causing, sir, is hundreds of billions of dollars of international trade. And nobody wants that. And if you want to go through Red Sea, still you will have problems. You will still have problems of Houthis. Houthis are running on the direction of Iran. And Iran doesn't want to get its hands dirty. He's sending you those disposable jihadis. Come deal with them. As I told you, a jihadi coming in a $10,000 dinghy can attack a $1 billion ship. That is what Iran's model is. Low cost, high impact warfare, wherein it doesn't cost me anything, but it costs you the maximum damage. Now, but the American problem is China is waiting. And, Taiwan, something can go wrong with Taiwan, and definitely I believe within this year, something will happen between China and Taiwan, because China is also reaching at the brim. If they don't do it there, if you look at the Xi Jinping's Uncle Xi's this New Year, kind of speech, he acknowledged two things. We will reunite Taiwan, and he also acknowledged for the first time he acknowledged Chinese businesses are not doing well. Chinese businesses are struggling. So with these two developments happening, a lot is happening in the Middle East. I have been hinting at one point, sir. I've been repeatedly hinting. Ye sare video dekhiye. I don't know how many can we play, but if we can play, this is the drone attack. This is what happened, and if you put this photo on the right, that is what is left of the body. This photo on the right, my right, this is what is left on the body. So this, what you see, a very hazy picture. This is what's left of the body. On the extreme left, there is a drone attack. There is the fire, and what happened after the drone attack. So, and now the challenge is these videos. This particular photo is tweeted by Mossad today. Mossad has tweeted this. This is what we have done. So there is a lot of provocation from how the tables have turned. Americans, alliance, and Israelis are now provoking. It's like this. What? What? We kill you. What? Now what can you do? Now, Hassan Nasrallah, look, buddy, you cannot cry on the TV. That's not going to help you. If you don't do an action now, you lose your card. So Iran is in a very catch-22 position. And when that deputy commander of IRG was killed, Khomeini, that they say we will have retaliation. President said we'll have retaliation, but nothing happened. Now after this Aruri's death, now you are really rattled, because the person who was killed, I think he was again killed in Syria. I remember this Syrian commander of Hezbollah was killed, of IRG or Hezbollah. He was one of the two. He was killed in Syria. Now, Israelis are going and hitting targets in Syria. Israelis are going and hitting target in, Beirut. And the pressure is mounting very much on IRG, is mounting on Hezbollah, is mounting on Hamas, is mounting on Al-Halali, Islamic Jihad, and all these things, what to do. Alliance is already in place. Last 1.5 months, I think 2 months now, a lot of ammunition has moved to the Middle East. All the man and machinery are deployed. Even what I don't know how far it is true, they're telling me that Americans have put in place all the assets, tactical, non-tactical. I can't talk more. Tactical, non-tactical assets are even placed by Americans where they need to be right now. And UK has also moved some of these tactical assets there. So with all these things, Iran tried to put the war on Israel and America and see how do they do. But if you see this prakaran, if you see this sequence of events, Americans and Israelis have, and along with the alliance, have turned the table. Today, anybody who is shitting in his pants is Iran. They don't know what to do. So Mr. Khomeini and Mr. President of Iran and Mr. Hassan Nasrullah, what is your plan? What do you want to do, buddy? You have to really come up with something. You have to show what you are. Else, this is where your position is. And your friendly neighborhood, Pakistan, which is a hired gun, which are in the business of jihad, they did what they are good at. They took the money and they did what they were supposed to do. I have been, just one point, sir, before you take over. I've been just stressing on one point. Jo na mere dimag mein, I could not get this. I've been making on all my presentations on any form of media. What was Nadeem Anjum doing with Qasim Munir? He is not supposed to travel together. I've been telling you they are on a mission. They are on a big time mission. Nadeem Anjum and Qasim Munir will never travel together and leave country. This is not the protocol in Pakistan. Why this was done? What were they up to? Why were they meeting? There was something much more than what I could see. Now, slowly, things are getting revealed. Slowly, things are getting revealed. And Ajit Doval have also met Iran's NSA. So let's see what Iran has up the sleeve and let's see how much can they do. But my thought process is that Iran is really, really at the brim. Now, even they don't act now, the aura of Iran will be dismantled like a sand castle. Sir, you want me to?
Yeah, just wanted to tell you that I have to step away for just 1 minute, and I'll ask you the first question, and then I'll step away and I'll come right back in. Just wanted to let you know I need to take care of something real quick. So let's take some questions now.
Sure.
Can we have the first question, please? Hope you are feeling better today. Yes, I am. Thank you so much for your inquiries, Ajay. And viewers, you will make me feel even better if you all like this video. I haven't seen the like count, but typically like count runs, much lower than the.
Aaj karenge, sir. Everybody is going to like it because we are the first ones who are talking about the Pakistan angle. We have given you the name of the organization. We have given the history of the organization. We have given you who was supporting them. When was this dependent? When was Rigi killed? Who ordered the kill? And what is the relation between Baluchistan, Pakistan? And what are these hot and cold games being played? Why does Pakistan and Iran hate each other yet love each other? Love each other because it's a nuclear weapon. And my sources even tell me Iran has some kind of a tactical nuclear warhead ready. That is what my source tell me. Iran has a tactical nuclear warhead ready. This is quite a possibility, friends, that they have something ready. But they don't have a stockpile. You see, you don't have to. And Americans do not want Iran to develop a stockpile. A chota mota bomb Americans can handle. But if it's a stockpile of bombs, and Iran has the ICBM capability, let's not forget that, that will be very difficult for Americans to handle. So Americans would want whatever chota mota tactical nuclear warhead they have developed, they can handle it right now. America has realized no peace deal, no agreement, nothing works with Iran. And America possibly has also realized, 𝙥𝙬 Sullivan and all, look, before Iran becomes China, you have to tackle it. Because once it becomes China, there's no way you can tackle it. So Americans would not Iran to become a China, because if it becomes China, then the strangled hold of America on Middle East is gone. And let me tell you, CNPC, China National Petroleum Corporation, whatever you call it, has now 2 or 3 days back signed a major deal with Iran. And they are trying to enter the whole of Middle East. Whom are they trying to dislodge from Middle East? Halliburton. They are trying to dislodge Halliburton, and they will also eye to kill the dominance of Aramco. Now, if Aramco is gone, you can take my word, petrodollar is gone. If petrodollar is gone, then everything will go haywire. So Americans cannot afford this Iran and China to really become a power. So if you see the routing point where everything is getting routed from, whatever I could explain you in 30, 40 minutes, the routing point or the static route, what we call in routing terminology, is Iran. If you take out Iran from the block, everything collapses. Is the hub and spoke model today. Before it becomes an independently functioning mesh structure, wherein you take one or two, it doesn't matter. But today, you take out Iran, a lot of problems can be sorted out for a lot of years. So with Iran stockpile and enrichment, which has already reached a substantial level, and as per my sources, they already have a tactical nuclear weapon ready. It's not, but they don't have a stockpile. But opening that window will mean end of Iran. If Iran opens that window, There will be a damage to Americans or the allied forces, but that will mean end of Iran also. So let's see how Khomeini plays his cards, how does Mr. Raisi plays his cards, what does the foreign minister has to do, and what Hassan Nasrullah has to do. Because Israel is killing your people one after one after one after one, and not in your country, whichever country they are. So Ismail Haniyeh is left, Khalid Mashal is left, 4 or 5 or more left. With this pace, who knows, month and a half, we will be here to talk about it anyway.
Thank you, sir. One thing that I have to tell you guys, I have interacted with many Iranians outside of Iran. They come across as extremely intelligent people. And it beats me to this day how they have allowed this regime to come and rule over them. There have been these sporadic uprisings, but they don't seem to have that staying power to say Correct. Get rid of all these people and go back to their democracy. Of course, we have to say that in 1959 it was the United States which scuttled the democratically elected government in Iran. So US has a lot to answer for on all these things. Anyway, this is just my 2 cents philosophy. Let's go to the next question, please. Chaitanya Takle, why does Iran not empower Shias in Pakistan?
It cannot, because there is an animosity, but the relation is two, Chaitanya ji. One is that smuggling which happens from Iran. Second is that, farji gaadi and chori ki gaadi which reach Chaman border. And thirdly is, if you want nuclear, anything to do with nuclear, there's only one Muslim country which has that. That is Pakistan, though they got it from China. That's a different issue, but Pakistan is the only country which has that capability. That is what Pakistan has an advantage. No other Islamic country has that. And Pakistan has substantially.
Yeah, by the way, what Sumit ji said is true. I can still see my car, which is in Ukraine, red shadow. Okay. I can still see it. The guy is charging it. He's in Hilodian's street. I mean, what you said is true. I mean, these cars find their place. That car was totaled, guys. And then anyway, this is what it is. Destroyed car. They take it out, they break it down, and then ship it across to Ukraine. This is probably a status symbol car in Ukraine. Who knows?
One day it might reach Pakistan also, sir. You might find it in Karachi.
Do they have Teslas in Karachi?
No, they just need. They don't have the power. Once they settle the power, they will have the.
That is the problem, right? You have to have some guaranteed power.
Power nahi hai na, kya kare?
Next one, please. Rajat Rana wants to know: do you use Hindu tantra occult to alter reality and defeat the enemies? Your predictions are amazing.
Jai Mahakal. I'll just say Jai Mahakal.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskar ji, radicalization has taken decades to set in and the world didn't realize. How long would it take for the de-radicalization once it seriously starts and there is nothing being done?
I think there are two things, Ranga sir. I'm very clear on one thing. What we say in diplomacy, there are no permanent friends and enemies. That notion has to change. You have to have a foreign policy for a decade or a two. Then you can, differentiate something. Second thing, the flow to radical Islam has to stop. As long as the flow of money to radical Islam comes from X, Y, Z, Wahhabis, Salafis, to Americans, to French, to anybody. Look, is it wrong to say Jacques Chirac immigrated people from Africa, North African countries, because he wanted a vote bank? He gave them 700 euros as this berozgari bhatta. Now, these people have multiplied down. They have kids, they have 4 kids, 5 kids. Again, the menace which is hitting France is this people who immigrated for a vote bank. Now, you thought once you could settle them with 700 euros. Now, today, even 7,000 euros will not settle them for a month. So, you are some way financing all this because of your money. And third thing, refugees have to be handled in their own country. There is no need to get refugees to your country and handle them. Give them aid, give them water, food, help. Let their countries handle the refugees. We can give money, we can give food, we can give aid, we can give, but immigrating and mixing them within your population and thinking will give them a better life. No, you are hurting the both. I will tell you by one analogy. You have this big tub of milk. Take one spoon of curd and put it. What will happen next? There will be no milk. It's as simple as that. World has to realize this. The time of connected world, in my personal opinion, is ending. And American capitalism, which is only based on consumption, consume, that is not the way to run the economies. And that because of that consumption, you have this foreign policy which is based on a quarter. Is quarter kya karna? Agle quarter kya karna? Now you are my friend, you are my enemy, he is my friend. This can't happen, because in this process, radical Islam gets the money, gets the political patronage, and gets the things. And when people are radicalized, it's very difficult to de-radicalize them. It's very difficult.
Next one, please. Maya Jagannathan wants to know, ask Sumitji, is Iran trying to provoke US into a direct confrontation? Well, mujhe ma style?
No, I think it's the other way around, sir. It started with Iran provoking US, Iran provoking Europe, and Iran provoking everybody. Now that is why they got Yemen and Beirut activated. Understand, Iran's influence is Yemen and Beirut. They got all their 3 points activated. They tried to I'm not using a proper word. They tried to finger the world in the Red Sea, because there's a lot of billions of dollars of trade which is going. So how the world has got together? First, Americans got the alliance together, and 10 countries are still there. Then they let Israelis do what they're good at. They gave Israel all what they wanted. Now America has moved all the man, machinery, and even the tactical weapons. I'm repeating the word tactical weapons from Middle East. Now they are needling Iran. They want Iran to start it. Americans will end it. If Iran starts it, Americans will end it this time, and for good. And I still fear Iran is every day getting pushed to a corner, because it is, when I talk of Iran, again, it is Khomeini. Government of Iran has no option but to align with Khomeini. I'm not talking of people of Iran. There might be noble souls over there, but Khomeini is the problem. As long as you're Khomeini, you're Xi Jinping, you're Kim Jong-un, the world can never be peaceful. And you have these people like Mullah Munir and all going on. World cannot be peaceful. There are few characters which will never let world to be peaceful. Look at the China before Xi and look at the China after Xi. I have been going to China for so many years. But before Xi and after Xi, everything changed. You see how that is the geopolitics. So if there was a Hu Jintao like a character and all, China will be still doing what they're good at. But now it's a different China altogether. Now China is a threat. From the factory of the world, it has become the threat of the world. You are looking at China virus, pandemic. I mean, this is the reality of life. And there was a beautiful piece yesterday told by Dr. Jaishankar in his interview, very, very clarified. They say, we've been living with a self-proclaimed China theory, but that is not the reality. Reality about China is something different. World has to wake up and smell coffee, sir.
But by the way, for those who may not know this, Jaishankar was the ambassador to China for several years.
Correct. He speaks Mandarin, fluent Mandarin. He speaks fluent Mandarin.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskar, is deradicalization a possibility?
Sir, up to 50, 60, 70%, never 100%. 50, 60, 70%. But the first thing is permanent foreign policy, stopping off money, and not be driven by the greed. If you control these things, still things can be possible in this world. But as long as the human greed is super, as long as you want to, it's like I am producing $1 billion of goods. I want them to sell. So I'll just do anything to sell them. I'll just go and be friends with anybody. I mean, and where does this notion come? There are no permanent friends and enemies. I have one simple connotation to ask here. As humans, we have permanent friends or enemies. But a country which is made of humans, how country cannot have permanent friends or enemies? This is something which needs a bigger thought. Because ultimately people make the country. Country is not a living being. It's us who are the country. Collective of us is the country. Correct? Right. How is this nature so different? Because it's the greed what makes it different.
Next one, please. Aditya Prakash wants to know, sir, with the politician from Karnataka talking about incidents similar to Godhra, is it a ploy to overload NIA by planting red herrings or just a political statement?
Unfortunately, sir, incidents like Godhra are unfortunate. They should have never happened, because if Godhra was not there, there was no Gujarat there. And with elections around the corner, Victorian are not able to do the magic in Bangladesh. We have seen things erupting in Manipur. There was a trucker strike called for 2 days yesterday. Mr. Amit Shah dismantled them. Now I'm hearing of another farmers' agitation on 13th February. I don't know how long it is true. We had seen a wrestlers fiasco. And by the way, let me tell you, today the junior wrestlers have come and protested against those 3 trio senior wrestlers. They said, we have lost 1 year because of you. We have lost career out of you. And these wrestlers, with due respect to them, they've been kind of returning the awards. Okay, what about the job? And what about those 8 crores, 6 crores, 10 crores, which you got as the money for that award? When are you returning that money? So if you want to return, but not by returning, okay, this is my award, bhai, wapas lo. You resign from the job and return that 10 crores which you got paid as the prize money, and return the brand endorsements which you made. At least return 50% of the brand endorsement to the government. Then I'll say your intentions are good. Otherwise, you just want to use wrestling to enter politics. It's as simple as that. If you want to become a politician, everybody is free, but don't use national pride and honor for politics. You want to become a politician, become a politician. Bhai, aa jao na, kisne roka hai? Nobody can stop you. But why are you doing this? So, till our elections, a lot of things are happening. And let me warn you, friends, about one thing, which is very dangerous. There's a section of media which is trying to build a narrative, oh, Modi ji is going to make it anywhere. Remember, this was also done in 2004. India shining, Vajpayee ji is going to make it, Vajpayee ji. What will happen? People will be complicit. Theek hai yaar, Modi ji to aa rahe na. I don't have to worry. It's okay. I'll have my holiday in Dehradun. I'll go to Uti. I'll go to Coromandalam. I'm going to where? I'm going to Kurg. Right? That is what the people will say. But then the surprises happen. So this complacency, some sections of the media are trying to inject this complacency. Oh, Modi ji is done. It's all done. You will be very, kuch nahi hoga, sab theek hai. So I am trying to, warn you with requested hands, don't fall prey, because enemy agents do not look alien. That's what I always say.
Next one, please. Karthik Viswanathan wants to know, sir, what am I hearing? Only ships other than Indian ships are targeted in Red Sea. What has changed suddenly? Any Ajit Doval play?
I think they are targeting all the ships. Recently, they have not targeted the Indian ship because there are 3 Indian naval assets which are in the Red Sea. We have some good relations with Iran, but at the end of the day, you see, even what they will listen to Iran is 70%. They will not listen 100%. What I am fearing in this Middle East fiasco is if there is a mass casualty, or this Aroori's death, which happened here last night. Aroori's death and such similar high-profile killings. Imagine tomorrow Khalid Mashal is dead, or Ismail Haniyeh is taken out in Qatar. Then the paradigms of the war can change. And you look, today we have unfortunately how many? 105 people dead. And if these Houthis are able to reach Israel, do you think Benjamin Netanyahu is going to go with the garland and say, Aja, welcome? He will use brute force. He will use this. Once I remember Donald Trump said, I can end the war in Afghanistan, but I have to kill a lot of people. I remember Donald Trump saying that. One day push will come to shove, you will have to go to that. And how was Israel eliminated? Remember a city called Mosul? How many people died in Mosul? Was any structure standing in Mosul? Yes, there were civilian casualties, but there was no other way to get rid of ISIS. Because Mosul, there was nothing standing. They used what you call, I can't remember the name of the bomb. That was called the mother of all bombs, which will literally shake everything. They will kill and dismantle all the tunnels and all. It's the question of how much human casualty you want to take at the end of the day. There are weapons which can do the job. Push comes to shove, Israel will use those weapons. And then how will the other side react? Those are some things which have to be seen. There are some things which can really upside the paradigm. So things are not, as I predicted, friends, things are not settling in Middle East. Somebody said, oh, everything is good, it's business as usual. I said, no, they're not settling. They will not settle, because for Israel, it's a question of life or death. Will Israel exist or will Israel perish? If any country is at that state, I will care about myself. It's as simple as that. I don't care about what's going to happen to the world. Well, that's what Benjamin Netanyahu will do. Next question.
Next question, please. Hriday Sharma wants to know, as per HT, Hindustan Times, I think, ISIS is gaining hold in Afghanistan and KPK. Are we witnessing another ISIS chapter like 2012-13 in the making? Who are behind the curtain actors?
You see, my definition of Taliban is International Consortium of Jihad. Today, Taliban, what you are seeing, and the Taliban which came before are different. That time, Taliban was all powerful. Today, Taliban, there are 20 organizations which are jointly, 21, which are jointly called as Taliban. There's ISIS-K, there is Al-Qaeda, there is Jaish-e-Mohammed, there is Lashkar-e-Toiba. And Lashkar-e-Toiba, for your information, is much bigger than what you and me can think of. I always forget I have to do a program on Lashkar-e-Toiba. I'll do it. It is much bigger than what you and me can think. So these all organizations are controlling Afghanistan. Taliban might be the bigger partner, but they all have their, their lines of business cut. They all have their areas cut. So who is harboring whom and who is giving patronage to whom is very difficult. It is not the good old Taliban which is in full control. No, today it's a consortium which is in control. That consortium might be jointly called as Taliban, but it is not the original Taliban. There's a difference. They are sharing power with the people. And these people whom they are sharing power with, they can do anything. I won't be surprised. KPK, Afghanistan is quite possible. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, in fact, I've been predicting this for quite long. There's nothing called good Taliban or bad Taliban, by the way. Taliban are Taliban.
Next one, please. Jalpreet Batra wants to know, Sumit sir, if nuclear park cannot handle Baluchistan, then nukes are a liability, not an asset.
Well, Jaspreet, it depends if Pakistan has the nukes.
We keep saying this, right? I mean, there is evidence that all those things have been 100 cars, 100 black cars.
They're in a base, American base, but on Saudi soil.
Next one, please.
There is one difference, Batraji. If you look at any Islamic country, they don't let Americans use their soil for offensive. No Islamic country will let them against an Islamic country. But there is only one Islamic country where everything is for sale. That is Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Sab kuch bikta hai. Paisa.
I mean, they are just basically selling all their, silver, family silver. After this, there will be nothing left. The next general who will succeed Qasim Munir will have nothing to sell. He must be getting very nervous.
He will sell all the junk and all the, whatever is left in Pakistan. He will be the General Kabadi Singh. So he will sell all the kabad of Pakistan. He was recently irritated to Iran. We discussed that in one of our latest programs, what was Mr. 𝗤𝙑 doing in Iran. Right. And we don't want anything or anybody from Iran to hurt India's interests. That is our limited point. But what Pakistanis might have cut a deal with Americans, will do a separate show on that. That will really upset a lot of paradigms in the whole of this region. And Pakistan will do it for money.
Thank you, Saravanan, for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you, Jyothishmati, for your generous support. You are a member already. Thank you so much. RGB116, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Just back up. One previous, please. Yeah.
Shumitraji.
I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Sree Iyer, hope you are well, sir. Why India is opposing to join Quad against China? Isn't it in our favor to do so?
India is already part of Quad, sir.
It is not. Quad is not working much now.
Quad is not working much, but India is already. Well, look, Quad doesn't have a military charter right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean in the future it will never have a military charter. Nobody has said that it will never have a military charter. Abhi nahi hai, but it can any day happen looking at the situations coming up. My assessment of China is China has much more damage than what you can see. China is trying to hide it, but how long can China hide it? That is the question. You see, Pakistan, in 2018, when you will go on a national TV and say Pakistan will break, people will laugh at you. Now we are in 23, 5 years. You can see this as you're waiting for the time to hear the good news. Right. So China is exactly in a similar situation. China can hide, China can cover, but how long? Tall buildings do not mean prosperity. Let me get that clear, sir.
Next one, please. Nirmal Krish wants to know, good evening, sir. What are the consequences if Trump or Vivek is not elected into the White House? The deep state and the shadow government will escalate all these issues beyond repair?
There is a possibility, sir. You can't deny any possibility because, as I told you last time, even imagine a mature player like me playing chess with a grandmaster. What I will do is, he will take me at least 5 or 6 moves to defeat me. You can't defeat me by the first move, right? So whoever your enemy is, they will not give up so easily. They will keep on trying. In the end, they may lose, but the damage they will cause, they will keep on trying. They will try permutations and combinations. You see, I don't know. I find it a very strange coincidence. Mr. Rahul Gandhi takes an economic class seat, goes to Dubai. Everybody, film industry, cricketer, everybody's in Dubai. What is in Dubai? Why has Dubai become the Mecca and the Vatican and what all or the monasteries of the world? Everybody's in Dubai. What is in a Sheikh Zayed Road? All of you who have seen Dubai, there's nothing in Dubai. It's a very small place. Why everybody out of London, Paris, Switzerland, and all those, why is everybody going to Dubai? And why is everybody going in private planes? And what does it happen? Mr. Gandhi goes in an economic class seat, and in the meanwhile, suddenly truckers call for a strike. I don't know. Maybe there's related, it's not related. God knows. But, people have been writing me. They've been asking me questions. I'm getting so many emails, so many DMs and all. I don't know how many to answer. But, but what they rightly say, there are never coincidences in geopolitics. That's also a reality of life we have to deal with.
One thing that I can't help but always mention this, if the National Herald case, if the prosecution, that is the government, had allowed it to go in the normal pace of any prosecution, today there will be 30 different courts where these guys will be running from one court to the other trying to get bail, the Gandhi family. Instead, I still don't understand this, because that is a black and white case. Sumitji, that's the one and only case in which Sonia Gandhi will go to jail. You know why? She signed it. कोई भी दूसरे on any of the other deals, including the 2G scam, there is no signature of Sonia Gandhi. This is the only place where she has signed it. She cannot escape jail.
I think there must be some legal nuances or some political leverages which have been calculated and worked. That is the only solution. That's the only thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, Chintan, thank you so much. Choti, medium countries in 𝙥𝙤𝙣 में बर्बाद हो रही है. क्या extremely large countries में रहना safe है? अच्छा हुआ इंडिया large country है. आपका विचार?
Chintan ji, बड़ा अच्छा हुआ large country है, and this is very good. We are self-sufficient. We are Atmanirbhar. We are doing Make in India, and we are trying to be number 1, 2, 3 in every sphere of economy, industry, and all. India is a country wherein people are working. You will not see people in this country hitting the streets and burning the properties. If you look at what happened in New Year in Germany, you will be scared in Berlin, Frankfurt. What happened in Paris, what happened in Spain, what is happening in Switzerland, what is happening in Sweden. If you look at the whole Europe, sir, New Year's Eve, it's horrible. I don't believe myself. These are the countries where I have visited and, loafed around for the whole night. And today it's impossible. And, Christmas and New Year was a time when we used to go there because it's the best in the Europe at that point of time. Now, today anything can happen to you. How things are changing in this world is mind-boggling. And what on the contrary, I see on the Lal Chowk, there is sound, light, and dance happening. And it is the coldest part of the season, -4. And people after 12:31 are walking to their home and going in their cars. You see the contrast. I can't relate with what happened in Kashmir and what happened in Berlin. I can't remember what happened in Kashmir, what happened in Paris. Contrast, complete contrast. It looks like things have taken a 360-degree turn in both the places.
Next one, please. Nirmal Krish wants to know, good evening, sir. What are the consequences? I think we've already done this. Next one. Next one. It's done.
Done.
So Jaishankar visited Iran. Any future plans being contemplated to send a message to USA? Jayagopal Venkatraman.
You see, USA will look at its own interest. We have to selectively align with USA based on the need and based on the interest. But if you ask me, in B4 countries, look, China is not an option. Russia is only good at arms and oil. There are two things which work in Russia. US still has the technology, US still has the IPR, US still has the economy, dollar is still 80% of the world trade happens in that. There are a lot of things which are still good about USA. And, because USA is a country wherein organized corruption is called lobbying. USA is a country where you have the concept of gravy train. USA is the country wherein people from Lockheed Martin can become presidents. USA is the country when you go bankrupt, you go to a Lockheed Martin and become a millionaire. But having said that, but US is still a country wherein, there are a lot of opportunities and it's a democracy. It's not an autocracy. I think in the long run, if you are selective in getting with US on a project to project base or a need to need base, it is not harmful for India. It is beneficial for India. Because China is not an option and Russia is not where you can go beyond arms and oil. That's the reality of life.
Next one, please. Last two questions, please. Thank you, Soumitra Vagolkar, for your generous super sticker. Next one. Jones, what about Khomeini and Taliban, and which of the two would be better for India's long-term geopolitics and geoeconomic interests?
Interesting question. You are asking me to choose between the fan and the fire, devil and the deep blue sea. Which one is better? Honestly, Mr. Jones, really a difficult question to answer. But if you ask me, I think if you can control Afghanistan, that is more geopolitically better for you than controlling Iran. But in the long run, we have to look at INSST, which is an important corridor for us to reach Europe. The challenge is Iran is not a bad country. Iranis are not bad people. When I talk of Iran, I always have one person in mind, that is Khomeini. If it's a normal government or if it is not a government inclined to Khomeini, and if you are only... So that's why Iran has three entities. But when it comes to Taliban are controlling. Talibans are in power right now. And Pakistan can use Taliban to the best of the advantage if we don't manage our relations with them. Iran is still far off. There are still buffer countries in between. But with Afghanistan, you have to be more careful, in my opinion.
Well, that brings us... last question. Santosh Sivan wants to know, Iran is on the verge of developing a nuclear bomb so that Israel to do what? Prevent Iran from becoming a nuclear nation? What will Israel do? They already took it out once.
Israel will do anything and everything what it takes, and Israel doesn't take instructions from anybody. My sources tell me Iran already has a tactical nuclear weapon, chota wala, small one. But the stockpile is not big. It is a very strong, some 2-3 things here and there. But Americans and Israelis do not want Iran to become China. Because if Iran becomes China, then it will be very difficult to manage it. Then the influence of Iran will increase in Middle East. It will increase in North Africa. It will increase in South American countries. It will increase everywhere in the world. Today, China has an influence, whether we like it or not. China has an influence. So, problem is, today you have to handle jihadi people with, guns and armored vehicles and RPGs and all. Imagine if they start getting tactical warheads, small tactical warheads. Then there are not a lot of countries which you have to think where they can be used. The most potential country, or the number one country in the list, is United States of America or American interests. Then you will have Israel, then you will have a country like India, and also we will be in top 5. India will be in top 5. Don't be worried on that. So it's not how much difference does it make between a 1 and 5. So you have to make sure before this shit hits the fan, you contain it and you settle it for good. Problem of Iran is Khomeini. And he is a problem which, as long as it is there, Iran can never change its tracks. Any government comes, you cannot go beyond that, man. Kya kare? This is the limitation of the system. It's like the Newton's third law of motion. You can't go against that. That's what the law is.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to a close of a riveting session. Thank you so much, Sumitji, for heeding the call to come on a different day for this special session. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. I might remind you, thank you so much. Today we had 2.1K likes. We had about 3,600 people watching throughout the program. Very good numbers, but I would like to still see the like count go up and above and beyond the viewer count, because if I look at the viewer count, it is probably 13,000 or so, and your support means the world to us. We are completely dependent on your support. We don't take money from anybody. In fact, if you notice, the only thing that we promote is Sumitji's own initiative. Other than that, our advertising is to a minimum because we want to be able to tell you the truth. Thanks once again, Sumitji, and namaskar.
And my hand-folded request to all, kindly like, sir. Please like it. It is the first revelation. We're bringing the organization which is behind it. We're giving you the history. I know a lot of channels will follow after this, but we are the first, and your support and your trust means a lot to us. And do not forget, before January 24th, you have to take PGuru to 500,000. ये आपका promise है. मैं भूला नहीं हूँ. So you have 500,000 before January 24th, because when we'll get live on January 24th, it should be 500,000 channel. On that note, I will try to take your leave. Namaskar, Vande Mataram, and Har 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 Mahadev.